day nights the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's good delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. The CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Turnipole, and as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of some of the best deals around. That's right, it is Moorline Lager House. They have a new special on Tuesdays from 4 p.m. to close. Full-size cheeseburger, fries, and a beer for $15. You can come down there and enjoy that and enjoy some live sports talk with me and the boys from 6 to 8. We had a great time down there last night. If you missed it, we had David Fulcher on the show with us. He gave some great insight on his thoughts on what the Bengals should do. If he had any inkling of ever being a DC, any of that stuff. If you guys want to check that out, it is on the channel. Go check that out. Anyway, what is up? I know we're a half hour earlier than normal because, I've been busy and I had to really scramble to get guests, but I can always count on my boy Dale. So we only have one person in the chat right now. It's Lindsay. What is up, Lindsay? How are you? Thanks for joining the show. So I did the show today and I'm saying who are the top candidates for the Bengals DC. A couple of list of names I got. Of course, you got the two guys, Patrick Graham and the other guy that they already interviewed. Matty Eberflus has come out as a name, not by the Bengals, but just media and social media. Wink Martindale, and I keep saying Al Golden. I think they're waiting for teams to get knocked out of the playoffs, college playoffs, NFL playoffs. Dale's got a name here. He says Jim Lienhard, if I'm probably saying his name wrong. But anyway, there's some names that we've heard, and we can discuss. But anyway, let's get to it. Also, real quick, Bearcats are playing Colorado tonight at 9 o'clock. It's a must-win. They cannot go 0-4 in the Big 12 to have any shot. They got to win this game. And I want to state this, that I think this is the biggest offseason in Bengals history. Let's see what Dale thinks about that. He is the man. He is the myth. He is one step away from being Daniel Jeremiah. He's my friend. He's your friend. He used to be my seat neighbor. He's Dale Altman. What's up, Dale?
Not much, Ice. I know Derek and a lot of other people are doing dry January, not drinking during this month. But as a member of Bengals and Brews,
yes,
got to represent. So when you asked to be on the show, I stopped at the carry out. My great Rusty Cork, who gave me this beautiful sign back here.
I see that.
And I'm doing Wet Wednesday.
Wet Wednesday. I like it. I'm down for it. I'm not a quitter. I don't go dry January. We support local businesses, okay?
Yeah, someone has to, and I support the hell out of them, and they show me love back by, give me this awesome sign, this
I know,
Or
that's
like
awesome.
can on it,
I'm a little jealous. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that. All right, so let's get into this. Bengals DC. And like I said, I think they're waiting. I said they got to be waiting for teams to get knocked out. Or they're just, I mean, and they are good at keeping secrets. But it's been a week since they've interviewed anybody that we know of. I think it was last Wednesday they interviewed the guy from the Patriots. I think that's when it was. What's your thoughts? Do you think they're waiting on somebody, or they got some stuff going on? Because I mean, they could be waiting for a secondary coach or a DB or a linebackers coach or something. Not necessarily a defensive coordinator from another team, but another defensive coach. What's your thoughts?
I mean, they could be, and Al Golden's somebody that we mentioned on Bengals and Brews, like, I don't know, a month or two ago when we thought the writing could be on the wall for Lou for how the defense had performed. Just the connection to him being the linebacker coach when we went to the Super Bowl, coordinating a great team, a great defense at Notre Dame. So it makes sense that they'd be interested. He does make over $2 million right now at Notre Dame. May not want to leave that situation. He was Temple coach. He was Miami coach before he went to the NFL. So he's been a guy who's been in college a lot. The stability for jobs in college is I feel like a lot more than it is in the NFL.
And Notre Dame might pay more money than the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's making over $2 million and probably a raise. I mean, making it to the championship, and they could win it playing Ohio State on Monday this coming week. But I think there's a lot of good candidates. I still like Patrick Graham. Was one of the two interviews from the Raiders.
I'm not against him. Yeah,
coordinated an average defense with a bunch of young guys and injuries. 15th for the Raiders with no offensive help. I think he would do great here. You mentioned Eberflus. He was with the Colts. He coordinated. He turned that unit around from like 30th to 10th in points allowed and like 11th in yards in his first season, and had 4 good seasons. His worst season was like 16th. We would take 16th every single year.
I take 16th all day long.
That was as a D coordinator before he went to the Bears. So don't just judge him off the Bears as head coach when he was just a D coordinator.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. People are like, oh, he was an awful head coach. Like, well, great. We're not asking him to be a head coach. We're asking him to be a DC, which he was actually pretty good at. But I think Paul Dehner, I think you said it, or somebody told me Paul Dehner kind of dismissed that, that it
Wink Martindale, not Eberflus though. Eberflus is
yeah.
still in there. Wink Martindale, who's coaching at Michigan, he makes $2.3 million. He is taking a couple interviews, Colts and maybe Atlanta. Lou also interviewed at those places. But Wink, man, listen, his first few years as DC for the Ravens, they were top 10, top 5, first a couple years. So it was great. But then that last year when he talked shit about Joe Burrow.
And we kicked his ass.
And Joe Burrow put up 525 yards and 5 tutties.
Yeah.
They were like 25th in defense, and then he went 2 years with the Giants, like 25th in defense, and then he spent this past year at Michigan. So for me, I'm out on Wink Martindale, which that's the one Paul Dehner said it doesn't sound like that was ever serious anyways. From the Bengals standpoint, that could be his agent, whoever, floating stuff out there, hoping, hey, come on, If nothing else, you get these interviews and you're coaching at a college, guess what you typically get to stay at that college?
Yeah,
more money.
Or
you get a pay raise. So
exactly.
It's just smart business to.
Yeah, that goes to shout out to Dustin Crawford, $5 super chat. We kind of talked about it. He likes the idea of Eberflus because of he said, let's face it, we're kind of built like a dome team, which I agree with that, but I kind of agree with everything you said. He was here and we kicked his ass, so thanks, Chop.
See, you keep getting Eberflus and you keep getting Wink Martindale mixed up. Two different guys.
Sorry.
Martindale was with the Ravens.
Eberflus. Martindale.
Eberflus was with the Colts as D coordinator. Great 4-year run where they never finished worse than 16th.
So who's this other guy? Jim. I wrote it down. Leonard.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just Leonard. It's got an H in it, but I don't know if it's like exactly how he did spend 10 years in the NFL. I should have probably went and found how his name's pronounced. My bad. I didn't. We talked about it on the show yesterday. But I'm just going to call him Jim Leonardo da Vinci. And the man can certainly paint up a good defense because he did it at Washington. They were first overall in college football 2 of his 4 or 5 years he was there. They're worse. And college football has a lot of teams, by the way, if you guys didn't know.
A little bit, yeah.
And 4th 1 year in overall defense and 14th or 16th another. So, just elite as a defense coordinator. Luke Fickell came to Wisconsin. He moved on to Illinois as some kind of, he wasn't really on staff, but
specialist or special
something,
assistant or something. Yeah.
And then he was with the Broncos this year as a cornerback coach and pass game coordinator. Sounds good to me. Played 10 years in the NFL. I think he would be a good candidate. If he's brought in for an interview, I think that he would be a good hire. I'd love what he did at Wisconsin, and I think he could do that in the NFL.
What the hell is Crip talking about? He's put it in here twice. Hey, Dale, did you know?
I know what he's talking about.
Quasimodo grew up in Ohio, and then he's talking to Chop about it. I guess because we didn't talk about it fast enough.
Yeah. Chop doesn't care. He likes LSU, but Quasimodo, the humpback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Notre Dame plays Ohio State. Crip finds a way to get something in all the time, like on Bengals and Brews. Shameless plug. I've done it like 5 times.
What is it again? What's the name of the show?
Bengals and Brews.
Oh, okay, good. All right. So yeah, all right. So that's his dig. So I guess Crip's rooting for Notre Dame.
Yeah, he would give Texas stuff, and before that, Oregon stuff, and then before that, Tennessee stuff. So and what, just got to keep it rolling, baby.
And what happened to all those teams?
Hey, it should be a good game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. I'm like, I want to hurry up and get it over with because I want to get this DC figured out because we got shit to do. To me, this is the biggest offseason in Bengals history. I really do believe that. With trying to have to get basically a whole new defensive staff now. You got to figure out if you're going to sign T, sign Jamar, extend Trey, and then the holes on the team you got to fix, which there's not a ton, but they're big ones. 2 guards, an edge, and an interior lineman, and maybe a cornerback. Which that's what we talk about. I'm not sure we need a cornerback.
Yeah, I like our cornerbacks. It's just can they all stay healthy? You can never have too many corners. That's one of those positions, I guess, too.
Exactly. So I mean, am I stating it too big? Is that am I stating it too big that this is the biggest season in Bengals history?
Sorry, I had to do Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
I was saying Who Dey, and then I was like, I don't know. Then I started doing stuff with my hands.
I wasn't. That's why you messed me up here. I'm trying to look and talk. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely an important offseason. I wish we could knock out an extension or 2 before free agency starts. My fear, Jeff, is that we're going to be rolling in a free agency, and the Bengals have kind of been known to be.
And they haven't signed anybody.
That can do one thing at a time also. So it's like, well, we're focused on Jamar.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing with T?
Yeah, it's the same agent.
Now Trey's requesting a trade for the second year in a row. Like, you know what I'm saying? Plus, we need to actually improve the team. We should be out there getting a guard. We should be out there, just getting other pieces, an interior defensive pass rusher. If Milton Williams from the Eagles hits the open market, if they don't sign him, I would give that man all the damn money. He is a hell of a pass rusher. Yeah. So,
Tony Blazin, you kind of confused me with this one. I still don't know who's going to be the offensive coordinator, unless they're
probably defensive.
Yeah, I think you mean defensive coordinator because offense is pitch. I wonder this, and people are shocked that I say this, but and Zach alluded to this a little bit last year. I wonder how, with him blowing out basically the whole defense side of the ball, there's 2 coaches left. They could stay. They might not. I wonder if there's any chance of Zach giving up, quote unquote, the play calling and giving it to pitch. Which the thing is, like, if you give it to pitch, Zach's still gonna be in on it. They're still gonna be talking. They can still kind of do the same thing, but that isn't on Zach to make the final decision. It's on pitch. I wonder if he's considering that at all.
I could see it just because it was kind of something that was kicked around before Callahan left for Tennessee.
Right.
And pitch, Jamar credited him fully with the way he moved him around having his Triple Crown season this year. He said, pitch brought those things in. Pitch used me the right way.
Right.
He could have easily said, Zach and pitch. He gave a lot of credit to pitcher. So you got to take him at his word on who, and I'm sure it's always a collaboration. Zach always says that. And I'm not trying to hate on Zach. I'm just saying. Yeah. You're right, Joe Boo. We are making Ohio State. We're bringing sexy back. I don't know what's going on.
I have no idea. Andrew Woods here. I saw a little bit of this. I didn't get to watch the video, but Goodberry video assigned Chase T and Trey have plenty of cap room left. I read his tweet. I didn't get the chance to watch the video.
Same. I haven't watched the video, but it could be done. And man, Joe, there's a lot of guys, Andre Parada, a lot of people in the Bengals fan base that Santori, that can break down. Here's how you do it. Boom, 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 boom. Done. And that's easier said than done, right? It's not our money. I get it, but at the same point in time, my problem with it all is it should have been done. We could have had all three of those things done before this offseason.
Yes. T should have been signed already. Jamar should have got done last year. Trey. Well, I see. I'll put it this way. What did Trey, was it this past offseason last year that Trey was requesting a trade? Or was it the year before that? Because it was like right after he signed the contract.
It was this year.
It was this year? Okay, I thought he just signed.
Yeah, him and T both around draft time.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Because to me, for some reason, it seemed like he just signed it that year, then he requested the trade. I'm like, you just signed the contract. What are you doing?
Son of a bitch! My phone fell. Oh my God! I didn't want to rip a heater! Let me rip a heater in peace! Why can't I just rip a heater?
I don't know what's going on, but he's ripping heater. It just sounded like everything fell when you turned the camera on.
No, it's just my phone. My phone just dropped. I usually have it pinned up here by where the thing is, and it just fell. It really wasn't that big a deal, but I just leaned into the bit.
Hey, that was good. It was good. Now, the other thing I'm curious about is we have not, like Greg says, we have not had any interviews or anything for O-line. Possible O-line, hire JT Pragnot, run game specialist, special assistant, offensive line.
Yeah, I keep hearing that name a lot. I keep seeing it on Twitter a lot. Somebody mentioned on our show, and they have a great line, right? So I like that idea. I like if you poached a guy from the Lions. Is that my guy Fuchs?
That might be.
It might be my guy Fuchs from the Lions.
Yeah.
Either way,
Greg,
it's
is he from the Lions? Is that who you're talking about? Just answer what team you're talking about.
Fuchs is no. He's talking about the Eagles assistant.
Assistant
O-line coach.
Eagles got a great offensive
That's
line.
what I'm saying. I know who he's talking about because I've seen that name a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, that guy Pignetti or I don't know. I mean, I'm from fucking Portsmouth, Ohio.
I'm from the west side. I can't pronounce things sometimes.
But I'm just saying, yeah, that's definitely a guy I'd be in. And we've heard no traction on O-line coach. I understand linebacker and D-line because you want to hire a D coordinator and let him get his guys in. But an O-line coach, you'd think you'd be hearing something about an O-line coach coming in. Makes me wonder if it is a guy from the Eagles, a guy from the an assistant, because hey, I would love to poach a guy from their staff who's worked under their O-line coach.
Absolutely. Their offensive line is the best line in football. Either them or the Lions, I think, have the best offensive lines in football. You get an assistant offensive line coach or whatever from them, I would be all for it. Because we need and that's what that's the same thing I keep wondering is like it's got to be somebody they're waiting on that they can't talk to, which sucks. Because that's what happened when we hired Zach. We were like the last team to hire a head coach when we hired Zach because we had to wait till he got done with losing the Super Bowl.
Well, I think defense coordinator is more important. O-line, I think I'm cool with waiting on an assistant. If you know that you got a couple candidates that you can basically poach because they're assistant O-line coach, of course they're going to take an O-line coaching job from assistant.
Oh, yeah.
So I think like the guy from the Eagles or Lions makes a ton of sense. Yeah, and to wait on them for O-line. But D coordinator, there's some good guys out there. Eberflus, Graham are available right now.
Uh-huh.
Leonardo da Vinci, Jim Leonardo da Vinci, now that the Broncos are eliminated, is out there. The only one they could be waiting on is Al Golden. But I want a D coordinator in here because they still need to hire a linebacker coach, a D-line coach, evaluate the secondary coaches. And the Senior Bowl is coming up.
Yeah, and they got to get in there and scout.
Exactly.
That's why I'm like, they need to get this done. So hopefully, if it's Al Golden, cool, because it'll be done after this weekend. Now, Robert here says, Willie Anderson, bring him in the offensive line, get TJ Hutchinson to help out the wideouts and to help Burton. Now, one thing I will say this, David Fulcher was on the show last night, and he said something I thought was interesting, that Mike Brown does not hire former players for coaches. And I'm like, really? And I thought in my head, I'm like, I'm like, you're right. The only ones I could ever think of was Eric Ball and Eric Bieniemy, and that was it as far as former players to being coaches. So I don't know why he doesn't, but that's just what Full Rock said. So I know people keep clamoring for Willie. I don't know if Willie even wants it, to be honest.
Yeah, but he is a developmental guy with what he's done. We talk about that with high school kids going into college,
but he did recommend Jackson Carmen, and TJ also recommended Burton, and neither one of them worked out that great. So,
but I will say this: no one is perfect on that stuff, and
yeah, you're right.
We don't know behind the scenes how much it was recommended.
Yeah, you're right. Ken Anderson was the coach, Jeff Eric. Yeah, he was a quarterback coach and our offensive coordinator. Well, ex-player. Yeah, before Greg didn't play for us, Robert. I don't think he did. He played for the Packers. Unless I'm wrong, I don't think Forrest Gregg played for the Bengals. He played for the Packers. But they get four. When I say former players, I mean former Bengal players is what Fulcher was saying. Anyway, what? See, Crip is just messing me up here. Dale, get your shit together, Delbert. It's prime time with ice. Damn it, Dale.
Hold on, Crip. I just picked my foot up and dropped it just for you. You shut the hell up. I'll do what I want.
Do what I want. But yeah, that's they have to be waiting on somebody. I mean, because I think they've sound. Okay, I'll put it this way. If I get my thoughts together, I think it's a good thing if this is what it is, that they have it zeroed in on their targets. The first two guys, they can bring them in because they didn't have jobs. Their season was done. Everybody else that they want to talk to has jobs and is still working right now. So they're zeroing in on their guys. I mean, I wanted to get the right guy. You can't just hurry up and hire somebody just because, oh shit, we got a whole bunch of stuff to do. You got to get the right guy in here because we want to win a Super Bowl next year. We want this defense fixed. We want this offensive line better. We want this run game better. I mean, you get all that, and it starts with the coaches. So you have to get the right guy in there. So, and that's what I've been critical about the Bengals the last couple of years is, especially free agency, it seems like they haven't had a plan, or their plan didn't work. I give them credit. They had a plan when they knew Jesse Bates was going to leave and they drafted Dax Hill. It didn't work, but they didn't have a plan for when Von Bell left, and they went out and got Nick Scott.
I also don't think they developed these guys properly.
No,
that's Dax Hill. Dax Hill had 100-some tackles his year as a safety, but that first year was almost like, hey, learn on the job. He was a slot corner at Michigan. He wasn't even a safety. Now outside corner.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, to his credit, he looked good those first few games. I would have loved to see him all season at outside corner.
I would love to see it because he was the best stats wise best cover corner we had for the couple games he did play. Take that for what it's worth, but that's where I keep going back. And you and me talk about it. I'm not like dead set that we have to get a cornerback. I will never. I always cornerbacks. You can always draft one. I'm not saying don't draft one, but that's not top on my list. For me, it's two guards via free agent or draft, and interior defense lineman and an edge. You got to go get an edge, and you have one that you put out on Twitter. The guy, the kid from Marshall.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I think there's questions that I won't speak on. I just know there's stuff the teams will look into. And maybe stuff will come out, because when someone's going to be a first-round pick, potentially as he is scheduled to be, Dane Brugler put out a mock draft today, had him first-round guy. A lot of people like him for 17. He was at Virginia first, and he was dismissed from the team. He was scheduled to, be a starter going into, the 22 season. And then he was dismissed from the team. No details about it came out. That's something teams will have to do their due diligence on for why.
Right.
And then at Marshall, though, he's been incredible. 17 sacks, led all of college football this season. So talent-wise on the field, I mean, at 17, yeah, he'd be pretty incredible. That would be.
I would so badly somebody on the other side of Trey to get pressure, and then you get a big dude in the center to at least if he gets pressure, cool. At least hold the gaps so the quarterback can't step up. If he can get some if he holds it, you get B.J. Hill to come up that way. And
BJ's back, but you're talking about Kenneth Grant right there from Michigan, big old 340-pounder.
Sounds good to me.
And he can pass rush a little bit too.
Is he a first rounder though?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, he's a first rounder.
We can't
He
get
was
both. Why can't we have 2 first-round picks? That'd be great.
Yeah.
We just trade our second-round pick for a first-round pick.
Somebody mentioned Jack Sawyer. I'm not fully on board with Jack Sawyer at 17 yet,
He's
but
a
his
linebacker.
pressure rate's incredible. He's had a great playoff run. I'm an Ohio State homer. I love Jack. I love what he's doing at Ohio State. I'm just not fully on board with him at pick 17 yet. If you were going to take a Jack Sawyer, I'm a big Walter Nolan. He's a D tackle, not an edge, out of Ole Miss. But I think you could take him, Kenneth Grant. I'm just saying, if all are on the board, James Pierce from Tennessee, which I don't know if he's even officially declared. That was something I thought he had already declared, but apparently he hadn't. Today's the last day to do that, unless you're a Ohio State or Notre Dame player for underclassmen.
Andrew here said,
but I would trade back, was my point. I would trade back. I would trade because we only have 6 picks.
Right.
So if you could trade down from 17 to 24 to 25 to 26, whatever, somewhere in that range, and pick up another day 2 pick, an extra day 2 pick that could be a guard that you get that ends up being a starting guard, Dominic Pooney from Kansas last year that we didn't take. We took Jermaine Burton instead. Was phenomenal for the 49ers. You can get a lot of guards in rounds 2 and 3. So I would love, to trade back and get an extra pick this year.
I mean, there's a very good likelihood the Bengals do that because they don't trade up, but they trade back. And like I said, to get extra picks, which would not be a bad thing because we have some pretty big spots we need to fill here. Now, Andrew is trying to put his up here. He said, can't the Bengals interview coaches from playoff teams, but they can't hire them until after the season? They can't because they interviewed Zach. They did. Now,
well, the rule changed. The rule changed. Head coaches, coordinators can interview now. I don't know about position coaches. I don't know about because Spagnuolo had a few interviews and he's DC for the Chiefs. So the coordinators can. I think they can, but I hadn't heard anything about Jim Lee. And some coaches will just say, "I'm gonna wait till our playoff run's done." Some coaches will just choose that option.
And some teams won't let them. I think they can not let them do it
if it's a lateral move. But I don't think they can completely deny the request anymore. Like with Zach, it changed after Zach. There was something that changed after Zach. Yeah,
I didn't know that. So I maybe they can't. I don't know. I mean, I know. I know Zach did. And how that works out with the other coaches, I'm not sure. But I mean, and maybe that's why we haven't heard anybody. Like whoever they're wanting to hire or they're wanting to interview, it's got a job right now. They have to.
Maybe. Maybe.
But the Bengals are going to keep it secrets. But really, I mean, Jay Shapeen, Paul Daynard, Jay Morrison, they can't find anything out. They're not hearing nothing.
I mean, but it's such a different world, like since COVID and stuff, you can hold interviews too, just like over Zoom or something. And if it's a Zoom interview, guess what? You're going to hear about those a lot less than you are when someone's got to fly into the city. Someone's got to set up their visit. You know what I mean? There are so many more sources out there at that point when an actual your meeting in the building is. I
wonder what it's like to do a Zoom call. I don't know. That'd be weird. Like you'd be in your basement and you'd be talking to a guy in the garage, drinking a beer while he's doing an interview. So, Dale, thanks for coming to the Bengals DC interview. I appreciate it here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What's your plans? What will be your plans for defense for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Oh, we're gonna get after people. We're gonna have exotic looks. We're gonna just play, and it's got to start with sound tackling.
Yes.
If we're not a sound tackling team, we're not a good defensive football team. Period, point blank. You can put guys in position if they can't tackle. So we're going to get after it, number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, I don't know. That's it.
You started out so good. I was going to start writing some notes down. And all right. Well,
I started feeling the pressure, of this fake interview.
Well,
I melted under the pressure.
There it went. Dale's not going to be the DC for Cincinnati Bengals. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they could be doing it Zoom and nobody would know. I mean, how you going to find that out? That is interesting. Let's see. Paul, what's up?
Because you always hear about like when they're real serious about guys, and this is with head coach, but I think coordinators probably too. They'll say they're coming in for their second interview, which is pretty much like you're down to the final process.
Yeah.
You see that a lot.
True. Yeah, you're crazy. This would never happen. I would be totally down for it. I may be crazy, Tori here says. Look at Nick Saban for DC. His defenses were always good, and it looks like Dion might be going to Dallas. Dude, I am here for. I want to see Dion in Dallas. I
For
want
the
to see
drama, yeah. for
Oh,
the
dude,
entertainment.
I want because one, I'm curious how because that's two big egos, man, going back and forth, and I like their boys and everything. But the last time Cowboys had a big name head coach was why can't I think of his freaking name now? He coached the Giants, Tuna, the big Tuna,
Parcells.
Parcells, yeah. I was curious how that was going to work. And actually, Parcells turned around, and they were a non-playoff team, and they made.
I mean,
a playoff
McCarthy
team
won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like with the Packers.
Yeah, but he's not Parcells. He's not.
No,
Dion.
I'm not. But I'm just
You know.
saying, like,
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and I'm curious. It would be they have to get a lot if they trade up to get Shador because Joe Farsing was and Neil were talking about this last night before the show started that they could see, which I don't think the Browns would do this, but I think the Browns had the number one pick. Is that true?
number 2.
Or number 2 pick. All right, they got number 2 pick. You trade Dax to the Browns, and apparently they might be able to get out of the shitty ass contract they got with Deshaun because he tore his Achilles again.
Yeah, they got some injury protection in there.
Yeah,
apparently.
so maybe you can get out of that, and then but then you're trading for Dax, who tore his freaking hamstring off the bone. I don't know if you want to actually trade for that guy, but I don't know.
It's the Browns, man.
Yeah.
If the Browns are smart, they'd stick at 2 and they'd take Abdul Carter from Penn State because I think the Titans, who are at pick 1, will probably take Cam Ward, the quarterback from Miami.
You think he's gonna be number 1?
Yeah, I do.
See, I think what's your thoughts? I don't know. I never watched a Miami game this year. If I did, it was only for like 5 minutes. What's your thoughts on him transition? Because I don't even know Shador is going to transition to be that great of a quarterback.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the two?
No, it's not like, hey, there's a Joe Burrow in this class.
No, it's not.
Even Trevor Lawrence, who hasn't really panned out, there's not a Trevor Lawrence. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, there's not Drake May. There's not. I think all 3 of those guys would go over Cam Ward or Shador easily this year. I think McCarthy and Penix and fucking Bo Nix, who I wasn't that high on. But I like Cam Ward. But he's got a little bit gunslinger mentality where he'll throw some picks and do some stuff. Started out at Incarnate Word, went to Washington State, played his final season at Miami, Florida. Had a great season. I just like him. I think if I had to pick one of the two, I'd pick him. He seems like more of a team leader than Shador. Like Shador might pan out, but I wouldn't trust putting a top 5 pick on him.
So, if you're the Titans, are you taking him number 1?
I'm taking Cam Ward just because I think they need a quarterback. Will Levis hasn't been it. But it's like Will Levis also throws some dumb picks. You're going to have to let
where he kept flipping out the.
But you're going to have to let Cam Ward throw some dumb picks, but keep on playing. Like, you're just going to have to let him improve that way. I do think Cam Ward's better than Will Levis by a mile, personally. And I think Callahan, I just think that's the way they'll go. But I think the best player in the draft is Abdul Carter, the edge from Penn State.
So,
if the Browns are smart, they just draft him at 2 because he's probably there at 2.
They got him and Myles Garrett. Yeah. Holy crap! Browns don't listen to us. I hope no Browns are listening to this, and you don't do that. He drops to us. Dustin here. He said, I think Cam Ward is going to be good. He throws with timing, anticipation, and if you remember, Jaden only had really one good year, but lots of reps. Now I'll give Chop credit. He was tooting Jaden Daniels' horn for 2 years, at least.
Yeah, so, at least that last one when he really took off.
Yeah, he was.
He was at Arizona State. He played a lot of football, which Jaden. That part of it reminds me of Cam Ward. They both played it because he was at Arizona State for 3 seasons and spent 2 at LSU. Mm-hmm. So Jaden Daniels played a lot of football, but he didn't take off to what he was until he won the Heisman last year.
Well, I think he's better now. I didn't watch him, but I think he's better now than he was in college. I think. Andrew here. What's the deepest position in the draft, in your opinion?
That's a good question. I don't know. There's some sneaky good positions. Like wide receiver and corner are always going to be, but I feel like the top end of this receiver class is certainly not what it's been, or the overall depth of this receiver class is certainly not what it's been the last couple of years. I think a sneaky one, and I don't want to say like, oh, this is the number one, but running back is very stacked. It's just that's a position that I got one guy in the first round.
Really?
And that's Genty. But overall, there's another 25 to 30 players that I could see drafted. And usually you might get 18 to 20 running backs drafted.
The Bengals might be able to pick one up day three,
Day
maybe?
3, yeah. They should be able to. It's a phenomenal running back class.
Because I'm really liking what you're saying to drop back, get 2 second-round picks. So let's see, what are they drafted? 21? Is that what they're drafting? The Bengals?
Bengals 17th.
Yeah, 17.
And
All right,
second round's like 49 out.
All right. Let's say they drop back to 20. Let's go 25, and they add a higher second round pick, like in the beginning of the second round, first part of the second round here. Where do you at 25? Who do you think might be there? Edge, it's your D, guard. Who in your opinion would be there?
I'll just toss out some names for I think the 3 positions we need the most, which is edge, D tackle, and guard.
Yeah.
So for guard, it's Tyler Booker from Alabama, but I will say Armand Mimbao or whatever, who's like 20. Dane Brugler had him 11th overall in his mock draft. He's played tackle.
He had a guard. Wait, he had a guard ranked 11th.
Well, but he's played tackle, and he's played it at a high level. Like, his PFF grades are elite, but he's like 6'3". You just don't see a lot of 6'3" NFL tackles. So I have had him.
I'm 6'3". I could have been an NFL tackle then.
I've had him on my. Well, you are not near as athletic or talented as this guy. I'm sorry.
Bitch.
And he's only 20 years old. Like, he's definitely. I think he's going to be a first round pick. But with that said, like, Tyler Booker is the other guy at guard. Then, like Donovan Jackson, who's been playing left tackle for the Buckeyes, Tate Ratledge from Georgia. And I'm not even saying these are all first-round guys, but that's some names for that position. And then if we're looking just first round at edge, I could see the Bengals being interested in Nick Scorton from Texas A&M, formerly Purdue. Had 5-6 sacks this season, but 10 last year at Purdue before he transferred. The Bengals will like him because he's 6'4", 280. They'll love that size.
Yeah, they like.
And
he's
a good, solid player. But
Which,
I want a guy with bend, flexibility, pass
you
rush.
said that you wouldn't mind a shorter guard instead of the big tall one.
Yeah,
right?
like an edge. Well, yeah, for guard, but now I'm talking edge.
Oh,
So,
sorry,
like,
you're talking
edge.
edge. Yeah, all right, my bad. Sorry.
James Pierce from Tennessee, which hopefully he declares. I mean, I've got him as a top 10 guy on my board still. He was arguably number 1 before this season. Had a bit of a down year for Tennessee, but he's a hell of a player, and I think he's going to be great in the NFL. Mike Green that we talked about from Marshall, assuming whatever at Virginia is fine or checks out with teams. I think he's a guy. I don't like the Shamar Stewarts of the world. I don't like the Landon Jacksons of the world. The production matters to me, and the bend and flexibility. Yeah. Shamar Stewart, man, I'm not about that one.
Yeah.
And then D tackle for me, it's like the top 2 are Kenneth Grant and Walter Nolan. That could be there at 17. Two different body types, but both studs. Caleb Downs will be next year. He can't even be in this draft class at safety. Derek Harmon, though, is a good one. Christopher, yeah. Tyleik Williams, don't do enough as a pass rusher at D tackle. Love him. He's a Buckeye. Great run defender, though. He'll be a first-round guy, but he should not be in consideration at 17. Princely, I like him from Ole Miss. I think he had 10.5 sacks this year. Good player. There's a bunch of guys. There's a bunch of names.
Bunch of guys. We got a bunch.
I rattled through them all, and Jeff was about to fall asleep as I was talking because he's like, I don't know what the fuck he's even saying.
No, but
he's saying names that sound like a Key and Peele skit.
I was listening. I'm trying.
Princely Umamiellen.
See, I listen.
Princely Umamiellen from Ole Miss. Rebels.
What?
You never watched that Key and Peele skit where they do the names?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have. I didn't get. I didn't get the reference. You didn't say it like they were. They were actually funny when they said it.
Ah,
Actually, speaking of that,
I'm going to piss. I'm going to check on my dog. I'll be back. You fucking say that to me.
You're always funny, Dale. I think I'm on the show by myself now. So are you guys live streaming? Are you guys live streaming the Natty? I don't know what you mean. I'm live streaming on the internet, and I'm in Cincinnati. Joe Boo, what's up? I'm going to go to Myrtle Beach this year. I don't have any plans on it right now. We'll see. I wanted to ask Dale some free agent questions here. Paul, I said out of the 20 free agents for the Bengals, who signs, who walks. For me, I said it depends. You got to find out who the DC is first, because Mike Hilton is one that if you keep him, he's got to be a more of a specific job for him. I would not rely on him necessarily to be a corner. His coverage skills aren't as good as they used to be, but his blitzing skills are awesome. He still can tackle. I'm wondering if how good he might be if you try to put him in a safety position. That's just me kind of throwing stuff out there. Rankins, I'm cutting him. Geno Stone, I go back and forth. You got to figure out if you can put him in a position to be successful.
Who?
If Geno Stone, that's one where I'm like I don't know. To me it depends on who the DC is, because Paul wanted to know what free agents, who stays, who goes. Like I said, Rankins is definitely gone. Mike Hilton, I said it depends on the DC. Stone, I think it depends on the DC. Definitely, I want to sign T. I want to sign Hendrickson. I'm trying to think who the other free agents are off the top of my head. I cannot.
Oh, like Bengals free agents, like
Yeah.
Hakeem Davis, Gaither at linebacker. Depending
would
on
sign
money,
him.
as with everything.
And the other thing is are you going to keep Pratt? Because that's a thing people have talked about. Is do you keep him? And again, to me, it depends on the DC. So that's where we won't know much until we find out what the defense coordinator wants to do. Because Pratt side to side is not as good as he used to be. Logan Wilson is still really good.
And Pratt's 29, and in his last year of his deal. I was surprised. Paul Dehner put out an article about cutting players. I know we talked about it on Bengals and Brews recently. Had a whole show on players you can cut. Bengals and Brews.
I never heard of this show before.
Yeah, it's kind of new.
Is it
like
new?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Still haven't hit 2,000 subscribers. Thanks a lot for not subscribing, everybody.
Dude, I've been stuck at 2,000. Well, at 2,575. I've been stuck on that for 6 months. I don't know.
A lot more than we have. We can't hit 2,000. I just want to hit 2,000.
I want to.
But anyways.
Anyway.
What were we talking about?
Pratt. Isaiah Pratt.
Jermaine Pratt.
Jermaine Pratt. Sorry.
Blood drop.
Yeah, blood drop.
Yeah, his percentage he had was like 70 or 80% he thought he would be cut. Because he was a captain, and he said it actually works against him because he's not a very good team leader. I've heard similar things, like, in general.
Well, he's also the one that went off on Joseph Osai at the end of the AFC Championship game, which wasn't
I'd be
really
cool
good.
if they moved on from Pratt, but you better at least bring back Davis Gaither.
You have to. You can't let them both go because you're down to Logan Wilson and rookies, guys who haven't played a lot. So you can't let if they re-sign Davis Gaither, they could cut Pratt, but I don't think you can let them both, because then you're trying to sign somebody in free agent, or you're trying to draft somebody, and I don't think they can try to draft a linebacker.
Yeah, they ain't got enough picks to
right.
And this for a position that is not good is linebacker for the draft this year, not a deep linebacker class.
There you go. And see, the cat has made it through my barrier. What are you doing? Diesel. Gotta keep an eye on it.
Hey, Jeff, you know what we should do? We should send a link to the chat and see if anybody wants to hop in.
We can do that. We can definitely do that. I want to ask your opinion. Have you got a chance to look at potential free agents from other teams that the Bengals might be interested in?
Some, yeah. Let me pull up my notes here, because I tweeted that out a couple months ago. But some of the positions we really need is mainly what I looked at. There's a safety if we do cut bait with Geno Stone. There's Javon Holland from the Dolphins that I'd be interested in, but I think he's going to get paid. And somebody told me that his agent is Malaguetis, so that's probably not happening.
Well, that's the other thing for Joe. I want to re-sign Joe Osai, but I don't know if we can because Malagueta is his agent.
So we can start at guard. You want to start at guard because we need 2 of those, so we definitely need to sign one.
We can, but we have a guest in the waiting room here. It's KP from KC5.
Let's go. What's up, KP?
Man? What's going on?
What's up, fellas? Can you hear me clear?
Yes, sir. What's up? How are you? Can you hear us?
Clear?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
I heard you when you first said what's up, but now I can't hear you.
You can't hear me now? Yeah, I don't know. I can hear you. You were sounding good.
Hello?
Hi. We can hear you. Jump off and jump back on again. Try that. See if that'll work. I don't think you can hear us. Dale, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. KP, jump off, jump back on if you can hear us. If you can hear me. I don't know what's going on.
All right, I'll mention some guards. If he hops off, hops back on, we'll roll with that.
Hold on.
Jordan Meredith for the Raiders. He's going to be 27, but he's an exclusive rights free agent. And I just put pass block grades for these guys from PFF down. 75.7. Sounds good to me. I'd take that.
I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Perfect. How y'all guys doing, man?
Good. What's up, KP?
Yeah, what's up with the audio?
I don't know. Yep. Yes.
Can't hear you anymore.
I don't know. You're on mute now.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Will Freeze from the Colts. He had an injury, so that's going to affect things, but 74.9 pass block grade. He's getting ready to turn 27. Trey Smith would be obviously an amazing signing, but going to cost a lot of money.
Right.
He's not even 27 years old yet for the Chiefs. 70.6 pass block grade. He would be incredible.
Yeah. KP, are you back?
Yeah, Trey Smith's pretty good.
There you go.
Pretty good player.
We can hear you now.
All-pro type player.
Can you hear us now? He muted his mic again. I wonder if he's actually from Kansas City. This is KP from KC.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, he's been in the chat quite a few times.
Yeah. All right. Keep going, Dale.
Tevin Jenkins with the Bears, a guy that we should have drafted instead of trading down and taking Jackson Carman. He was right there for us.
Right there.
But he is scheduled to be a free agent. A 75.8 pass block grade per PFF, and he's under 27 years old. Tevin Jenkins, I would be all over that.
What did you think about Dalton Risner from Minnesota?
He's on my list. He is 74.4 pass block grade. This was before the playoffs or probably the last game of the season for the Vikings. He is getting ready to turn 30, and I know how the Bengals are with that. But so was Kevin Zeitler, who is also the guy above him on my list at 73.8 pass blocking grade.
Speaking of Zeitler, would you sign him?
I like Risner because we had a chance to get him last year, and they did nothing. The Vikings
2 years.
got him for the
2 years we could have got him.
The Vikings got him for $1.4 million this year.
Yep. 2 years in a row that he's been out there, and the Bengals have not made that move. And now, like, Malik Wright is doing a show about him, all this stuff, and it's like, man, it hurts to do a show. But, hey, we felt the same way about Mike Gesicki. Maybe it finally happens, right?
Yeah.
I hope it does, man, because that means they only have to draft one guard.
Yeah.
They can move on. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's exactly what I want them to do. I want them to sign one guard and at least draft one to start. You know, I get more offensive linemen. I mean, because you need depth. But that's my thing, and I think they could do that with the defensive line too. You sign a defensive end or an edge, and then you don't have to draft one. Then you don't put yourself in that predicament where you have to draft so many different
if they draft
positions.
one guard, and if they keep T, they should be okay. They should be okay.
What's up, Dustin?
What's up, boys?
I can actually see your pretty face this time.
Yeah, what's going on? What's good, man? How's your week?
Up? Good. We're just enjoying the cold weather.
I got another name for guard, and we'll toss this one around the horn too for everybody. Mekhi Becton, who's balled out for the Eagles. We had him in for a visit, the Frank Pollock connection, but hey, guess what? He didn't sign here.
He looked good. He looked good with the Eagles.
Yeah, lots of people look good with the Eagles.
And he's not even 26 years old yet, so he would be a guy very high on my list, and the Bengals would be bringing him in to play right guard for Alex Kappa.
And, that's a guy I'm cutting. I'm cutting Kappa too.
I think they could get Becton for less than probably 5 or less, around 5 or so.
Maybe, yeah.
And they could have him for a couple years. So you're right about that. If they didn't go with Risner, they could go with Becton for a couple years and draft another guard. I'm thinking one of those guys from Georgia or Alabama, because Georgia has 2 guards, and I think Alabama has 2 that is in the top, is at least in the top 10 as far as guards.
Oh God. I'm sorry. My bad.
What's up, Kevin?
Go ahead, we hear you. You good?
Yeah, Kevin.
Hello. I was watching it before waiting to come in, and that's all the background noise. That's what that was. Dale, it was good to meet you finally in person at Lot 1 before the Bengals game. So that was cool. You know, got to meet you and Bengals captain and Santori and Pork Chop and Greg and all the many great people that Project Game Day has doing outstanding stuff for Bengals fans, in particular Bengals fans with special needs and military, getting them go to Bengals games. I think that's cool. I'm on the autism spectrum, so I can relate to the whole disability thing. So that's cool. You're helping people out. So even if the Bengals lost that day, I still had a fun time at the Bengals game and getting to meet so many people I've talked to many times, that'd be on a show or on Twitter, and get to meet them.
Yes,
in person.
You and your father, man. It was great to meet both of you.
Yep, that's right. My dad was with me that day, too. My mom was with me, too, but she didn't want to go to the game, so she stayed back at our hotel room. So it was just my dad and I. The whiteout was cool. The whole whiteout thing, the Bengals white tiger look is awesome. Seeing it in person is just awesome. Everyone, when the Bengals said wear white, everyone listened. Everyone wore white. It was just, Joe Burrow was awesome. Jamar Chase played good. There was good stuff about that game. It just, their defense, like usual, was terrible, and that's why
we will have a new defense coordinator.
Yeah,
yes, I'm excited about that. We beside that, to me personally, that is the number one thing that the Bengals need to do is fix that defense.
Absolutely.
They'll fix it.
You fix the defense, everything else is fine, because we've seen what just happened. Like, Joe Burrow, offense, fine. Like,
you guys
defense.
know what we ended up getting this year that we didn't have, that we all wanted, really, that we didn't have? We got a punter.
We got a punter. We definitely got a punter.
We got a guy.
Dude, he's got a monster fucking leg, too.
Like Rical, who can flip the field, man. It changes the game, man. It really does.
Hey, KP,
once they figure out the defensive front, I think they'll be fine. They have to D-tackle and rusher. That's what they got to figure out. D-tackle and an edge rusher. That's what they got to figure out.
Now, KP, are you actually in Kansas City? KP, can you hear me?
He muted his mic.
Yeah,
KP, are you in?
So you guys can talk. I muted so you guys can respond. I didn't want to just keep talking.
Yeah, he's used to the spaces,
No, yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to hit mute.
So but
are you in Kansas? Are you in Kansas City?
Grant maybe from Michigan in the first round, and if Grant is gone, I really like Mike Green from Marshall, guys. I don't know if you guys seen him, but damn, he's quick, and he got a spin move like Dwight Freeney.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a pass rush.
There's not too many guys that can do that, and he can do it. So when you got a guy that can do that opposite of Trey, man, that just changes the third down.
They need somebody badly.
If you can get off the field with the pass rush on third down, you got a really good chance of continuing to score with that offense. Because I think they should be built like the Colts were. They should be built to get the lead and then be able to pass rush and also run the ball a little bit more than they ran it this year.
I agree with all that.
That's how they should be built.
Yeah,
if they're not built like that, it's a failure.
Yeah, I agree with that. They got to get somebody on the other side to help Trey.
Because they're not going to have the finances to build a defense like another team does if they go all in on T and Jamar.
Yeah,
like I think they should.
Yeah, I've said that
They're
same.
not have the finances to do that.
Yeah, I've said that same thing.
Their strength is in their offense, and they have to get good guards in the draft, good defensive players in the draft, because they're already booked in with the tackles. The tackles are good. Everybody knows the tackles are straight.
Yeah, I've said that same thing, that they're not going to have the money to spend on the defense because they spent a lot of money on the defense the last couple of years. They have, and that's the thing that I think was Lou's downfall, is he didn't develop
I heard the other guy
defense.
talk on the bottom. What's his name? His name Dalton. What's his name down there?
Who?
Oh, Dustin.
Dustin. What's your thoughts, Dustin?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything. I mean, it's going to be excited to see the defensive coordinator that we bring in and just kind of the style. You know, my preference is just somebody that's disciplined, somebody that just teaches good technique. You know, and I think sometimes, you know, with coordinators, like, they are responsible for player development, but more importantly, your positional coaches. So those guys are going to be really important who he brings in from a positional coach standpoint, because those are the guys that are really kind of focused and honed in on the defense of development of your players. So it'll be interesting to see whoever they hire, what type of staff they bring with them too, you know?
Yeah. But back to KP's point.
I think you're right about those position coaches, because I believe Walters is a pretty good position coach, and he's unlocked Chase in a way that I didn't think he. I thought they were going to keep Chase in one position, because that's what they did for years. And now that they've moved him around with pitcher, it's like he's a whole nother level, because it changes the matchups when he's in motion. It doesn't allow nobody to basically key on him. And you'll be able to get to tell what the defense is running when he goes in motion.
Yeah, that changed. I think that opened it up a lot when Tyler Boyd left, because they couldn't do the three wide receivers in the same spot. Well, they could with Gesicki, but it opened it up to.
What are you guys' thoughts on them possibly cutting Hubbard?
KP, can you hear me? I don't think. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know that KP. I don't know that you can hear Jeff. Like he'll be.
I'll be talking and he just keeps talking.
I don't know if he can hear you, which is weird that he can hear everybody else. And the conversation's good.
Yeah,
but
it's great.
KP's been great. We'll have to have him back on. We'll let KP give final thoughts and then Jeff take your show back over. But KP, final thoughts having you in, brother. I'm so glad you jumped in. But got to get this back. It's not that it's been off the rails, but Jeff loves having control, and I can you can't hear him.
Yeah, for some reason you can't hear him. But thanks, guys, for having us up, man. It was cool talking to y'all. Whenever y'all drop the stream or linking y'all live, I'll jump on and just add my 2 cents. But thanks, guys. I'll be watching this stuff from the cloud.
Hey, you are the fucking man. Hop in on Bengals and Bruce. Hopefully you can hear me if you hop in. Dude, I love it, man. You guys are great. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. That was weird. I kept trying to talk. He was talking to everybody. But
I don't think he could hear you.
I know.
Straight up. I think he could hear everyone else but you.
Yeah, he couldn't hear me for some reason. But to his point, he made some great points. That's what I was trying to get in. I've said this last week, that I don't think if they sign T, Jamar, and Trey, they're not going to be just T and Jamar and Joe. That money right there, they're not going to be able to spend the money they've spent on the defense. And that's Lou's downfall, is they did spend money on defense, and he didn't develop it the way it should.
Let me tell you a secret. They can spend money on defense if they cut Sam Hubbard, Sheldon Rankins, Alex Kappa. There's plenty of money to go around.
Well, those three, I think, are definite cuts. I mean, I don't know why, honestly, why you bring – I mean, I'd bring Sam back on a vet minimum, but he's not the starter. And that's the thing that drove me nuts all last year, is why did he start every single game and get so many snaps? When
he's getting 70-80% of the snaps early in the season being injured. Come on now. What are we doing?
And he's hurt. And KP, if you're listening, dude, I appreciate you coming on. I couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know why you two.
You have great points. I wanted to talk, and
you kept responding to his points and trying to ask him other questions, and he couldn't hear you.
Anyway,
it did not work out. Jeff legitimately tried to have a good conversation with me. Are you from Kansas City? And it didn't.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. He's from Kansas City. Dustin, what's your thoughts on what we just discussed today? I know you said it a little bit there, but you can expand on
Yeah,
what
I
you
mean,
were saying before.
I don't just I don't expect a lot in free agents. Like I'm just not super impressed with the free agency class on the defensive side or on the offensive side, to be honest. A lot of these guys are aging. Um and I just don't see that fitting in the model.
What about
So
Mekhi Becton, Tevin Jenkins, Trey Smith, Will Freeze? Like the
I
guys I
like those
mentioned in
guys.
guard.
I mean, I like Becton. Do you think they were trying to just keep him as tackle, and that's why he didn't sign with the Bengals? Or like, where were they? Why did we let him walk away? And
I
then he
do
ended
think that's why. If I'm being honest, I do think that the Bengals were trying to be like, "Oh, we want you as the extra tackle. You'll compete with Mims and maybe start." And like the Eagles is like, "Boom, you're a guard, and we're going to develop you." And you like, I don't know. I honestly don't know because who knows with the Bengals and contracts, right? But he
yeah.
didn't get a lot of money with the Eagles, as far as I
No,
know.
it's like 1 point, something like that. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't
Him
know
and
what the
Tyre Tart
Eagles.
should have been no brainers that were in for visits.
Well, they brought Tart in. They just didn't.
That's
It was a bad fit or something. They said.
his character. Well, guess what his pass rush grade is? 77.3 this season for the Chargers.
Yeah.
Kiss
Yeah.
my fucking ass. This should have brought him in.
All right.
He
Well,
came,
tell
he
us how.
came on late too, like in the season. It seemed like he started really causing some havoc in the backfield.
Kiss my fucking ass. Tell us how you really feel, Dale.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you should have signed Tart because he wouldn't have cost you a lot and he would have helped the team tremendously. What are we doing?
I think Dale's a little frustrated.
So,
You
how
want
about
some other D tackles? Milton Williams, top of my list. Guess what his pass rush grade has been? 90.6. 25 years old. If he hits the market, oh my God, I give him a complete bag. All the money. You get all the monies.
how much is like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins gonna get?
But you cut dead weight in Sheldon Rankins and you
Yeah.
get 12 million back right there.
You could, and the thing is, you could. I mean, Stone doesn't make that much money, but you could cut him. And that's another one. But then you got to sign somebody in free agency. That's the thing. That's where I go back and forth on Stone because
Yeah.
you're not draft. Well, I won't say you're not. You could draft a safety, but that's going to be, second day, third day, something like that, where you're going to draft a safety. And then are you going to rely on a rookie to be your starter? That's where I go back to. I'll ask you guys' thoughts on this. What about Mike Hilton? Since his coverage skills are kind of diminishing, but he still can tackle, and he still knows football. And a lot of guys, when they get older from corner, and I know he's a slot, it's usually an outside guy, but go from corner to safety. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit. I think Hilton could definitely do some of that, but also let him do what he does. You bring him in. It would definitely have to be, once again, like everything in free agency, the money's got to be right.
Mm-hmm.
So depending what the price is for Mike Hilton, he's a locker room leader. You want to bring a guy like that back.
We can't lose. We've lost a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
That's the reason I kind of.
But his ability, blitzing, tackling, he's
Yes.
a sure tackler compared to a lot of this team isn't.
Yes.
I'm all for bringing Mike Hilton back. And moving to safety, I'm cool with him maybe trying that, but I don't want that to be my plan for him all of a sudden to be a starting safety if I cut Geno Stone.
Right. Yeah. That's where I'm like, I don't know if cutting Geno Stone is a viable option with the holes we have to fix. And it seemed like Lou figured something out. The last third of the season. Dustin, what's your thoughts on moving Hilton to safety?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a role for him. It just what do you value at like a price tag? And this is like kind of like breaking down like how you value players. If it's just a very rotational role, and offensive coordinators are like, okay, Hilton's on the field, they're gonna know how to attack him, which we saw a little bit of that this year. So I don't know. At a certain price, I like him as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that you can bring in certain sets, but it has to be at the right price because I think he is limited in what he can do.
That's kind of the same way I feel about Sam. Is I don't want to pay him what he's making now, but bring him back lower, and he's not a starter. You're coming here. You're a rotational guy, and hopefully healthy. Kevin, what do you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to use the Blue Jackets analogy, connects us to the Bengals, is that Jack Johnson for years was a really good defenseman for him. And then he moved on and he played for other teams. And this past offseason, he signed a 1-year deal. It was cheap. Is he the Jack Johnson what he used to be? No, he's not as good, but he still has value. And when you're and I've listened to your shows recently, and you're talking about Mike Hilton, and to me, in my opinion, it's a very reminiscent of what the Blue Jackets have with Jack Johnson. Is that he's not as good as what he used to be, but he still has a lot of talent, and the Blue Jackets put him in very specific situations where he can use that talent. For Jack Johnson, he's really good at blocking shots and penalty killing. So you often see Jack Johnson in a lot of situations where you need to block shots and kill penalties. And when you talk about Mike Hilton, where he's not as good as what he used to be, but where he really excels at is blitzing. Put him in, if it's not too expensive, you keep him and you put him in the situations where he excels at blitzing. And there's other stuff too. That's what I would do. And if you bring up Sam Hubbard, if he's not too expensive, I do a similar thing. Again, not as good as what he used to be, but the talent is still there, and you can still use him in valuable situations.
Well, they can cut Sam and save almost $10 million. So Sam will have to take such a small contract to be back. And honestly, if he wants to, I hope he retires, because there's no better way to go out than catching a touchdown pass from Joe Burrow.
Yeah, that is pretty cool though. It's sad that you got hurt there, but 20 years from now he could be telling his kids, "Yeah, I caught a touchdown from Joe Burrow, and it was
my
cool.
last play, my last play of my career.
And here's the play right here." And then oh my God, that's so cool, Dad. Oh, you caught a touchdown from Joe Burrow. The kids are at school. And my dad caught a touchdown from Joe Burrow. What'd your dad do?
Exactly. Now the interesting thing is, I'm always curious about this with Sam, and he hasn't been able to do this last 2 years. But what he has left in the tank if he's healthy, because he hasn't been healthy the last 2 years. So that's where I don't know if there is some left, but I know him being hurt the last 2 years has not helped. Which again goes back to why the hell did Lou play him so daggone much when you knew he was hurt, and you had younger guys that you could have put out there and find out what they can do. Because I said that I don't know how many times on the show. Let's find out what Miles Burger can do. Let's find out what Joseph Ossai can do. And like I said, I would like to sign Joseph Ossai back, but I gotta they have
I was just trying to say I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're fine. Well, I lost my train of thought.
Joseph Ossai.
Oh, they have Mulligetta as his free agent, or as his agent. So that doesn't make it feasible, I think, for them to sign it because they haven't been able to.
But T. Higgins doesn't have that guy anymore, so that's a plus for the Bengals.
Right.
I do think you're going to see, though, on defense, probably a little bit of it gutted. Linebackers, I don't know. I just feel like it's probably time for a youth movement on that side.
Oh, definitely. Oh, totally. Yeah.
So
I totally think that.
I chatted earlier, but the Rams, look at their defense. They're all 20 under 25, under 25.
And they didn't have a first round pick for 20 freaking years.
Exactly. So I think we're gonna have to build through the draft again, but I don't know. We just got to get younger and cheaper on that side of the ball.
Exactly.
For our investment money. And if we are going to make a splash in free agency, it's definitely going to have to be in guard. And, obviously with the lack of just every NFL team is hungry for offensive talent or for O-line talent, that's always a bidding war. So
that's one thing people don't realize, that the offensive line talent across the NFL is lacking. There isn't. I mean, the team, you got the Eagles, you got the Lions, who got great offensive lines, but most people, the Chiefs, their O-line, their tackles suck, but somehow they figure out how to get them to play better, and that's the other thing you got to figure out how to do. We got to have coaches who can get the most out of the guys, and I had this conversation with Fulcher last night. It's driving me nuts. It's why did Lou wait so long to dumb it down, simplify, whatever he did after we gave up 40 points to the freaking Steelers. After that, the defense started playing better. What took him so long to change? And that's the go ahead, Dustin.
I was gonna say I have a theory. You know how we see players kind of start to read their press clippings sometime?
Yep.
And start to feel themselves a little bit. I think that happened the same with Lou. I think he started seeing the mad scientists, and you probably have this level of pride, like I'm this gadget guy that can put together some complex defenses, and he didn't adjust quick enough. And
he definitely didn't adjust quick enough. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think there's a pride factor. He wasn't the same since like he went on that head coaching interview process too with Arizona. I felt like that since then. It's kind of like the defense just wasn't well coached.
Well, last year's defense sucked.
Yeah.
It has not been because when we went on our Super Bowl run, our AFC Championship run, it was led by the defense. The offense was good, but it's nowhere close to what. The offense this past year has been the best. In the Zach Taylor era. It was awesome what they were doing, and hopefully they can continue to do that. And one thing I'm kind of surprised, and I'm glad this hasn't happened. I was kind of surprised Pitch hasn't even been talked about or even mentioned as a head coaching job. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it'll probably come. He's a rising star.
Yeah.
Sure.
If the offense does as good as next year as it did this year, Pitch will be gone.
Let us get a defense coordinator and win the Super Bowl first, guys.
Right.
Come on.
Exactly.
We got the Minnesota pass game coordinator waiting in the wings. That's why. So if you've seen how Sean McVay's been able to develop, I think Bengals fans want us to go get these big name coaches sometimes. If you've seen what Sean McVay's done, he's always bringing in young talent. There's not been his coaching staff has been rated year over year over year, and he's always got up and coming guys. And I think, I think that's kind of what Zach's trying to build now. In this situation, maybe this defensive coordinator hire might be a little bit outside of that, but I still think that's a good system.
Yes and no. That's why I'm wondering, Dustin, if what they're waiting on is some of these, linebackers coach or secondary coach or somebody, a defensive coach that's on one of these playoff teams. And same thing with the offensive line coach. Are they looking at some of these guys that are not the O-line coach, not the DC, but they're right behind them as moving them up and hiring them to be that? Because everybody keeps throwing out all these big – I agree with it. Everybody keeps throwing out these big names. You don't have to have a big name. And everybody's like, the Bengals cheap. It has nothing to do with it. You want I honestly really want a young, hungry guy who is trying to move up, and if you get this Bengals defense and you turn it around.
Jim Leonardo da Vinci.
There you go.
Moving up in the NFL, but proven at the college game as a D coordinator. That is such a slam dunk hire. I'm sorry. It is.
So I'm not. That's where I more want the Bengals to do that. You have that because you get everyone kept throwing at Robert Saleh. You get him here. I don't know if his whole heart will be in it because he wants to be a head coach. He was a head coach.
Yeah, but his whole heart would be in it because you're playing on prime time and you ball out. You're getting another head coach job quicker.
True. True. I don't know.
He's interviewing Dallas today.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
We'll see.
So.
All right. On that note, I'm gonna go eat some dinner. We've been on for an hour and 13 minutes. Kevin, tell everybody to plug some stuff before I let you go, man.
Yes, Jeff, thank you for letting me on your show. And one last, I met Dale in person, so you got to be the next guy.
Well, we're meeting. When I go to the outdoor game. We'll meet there.
Yes. The Blue Jackets are having an outdoor game at Ohio State, March 1st, 2025, on a Saturday. So. You're a hockey fan, you like the Blue Jackets, this is the game to go to. The Blue Jackets outdoor game on March 1st, 2025. They're playing the Detroit Red Wings. Yeah. Rumors going around that the Blue Jackets outdoor game jersey is coming out tomorrow. Ooh. What if that happens or not? Different story, but, that's the rumor in the Columbus media. So again, thank you, Jeff, for having me on the show. Check out Brew Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast that Dale started, and I do with my co-host, Hefty Duck. talk about all the things going on with the Blue
That's
Jackets.
Love Schrock now, formerly known as Hefty Duck, Kevin.
Well, yeah, well, I still call him Hefty Duck.
Yeah, I know. We do too.
You know, Hefty Duck's doing some cool stuff too. You know, he's doing articles for the Blue Jackets theme articles. Crypt Keeper, you're wrong. The Blue Jackets do not suck. Get out of here. Hefty Duck is doing some cool stuff. He gets to cover go to Blue Jackets games and cover them and do articles. Does the show with me. He's a tattoo artist and he's picked to do art for the Blue Jackets. He does some cool stuff there. So I do the show. Check that out. And Union Blue Soldiers, go check out Union Blue Soldiers, a fun Blue Jackets theme group that I help run. Dale has this cool scarf like the one I'm holding.
I do. It is awesome.
So check out Union Blue Soldiers, a fun Blue Jackets theme group that I help run. And one last thing for me is see, if you have the chance, go see the Blue Jackets play at their outdoor game, March 1st, 2025. I'm going to be there, and Jeff's going to be there, so it's going to be great. So good talking to you. Thank you for having me on your show. Who Day and
brother.
CBJ, baby. Let's go. Blue Jackets, let's go.
Go Blue Jackets. Thanks, Kevin. See you, brother. Dustin, you got any final words you want to say before we? By the way,
hold on, Dustin. You want to do another show on Bengals and Brews?
I wish I could. I gotta run.
Wait. There's another show.
Are you having another show?
No, I was going to if you wanted to do one.
Shit.
Marissa's still at work. I was going to do another 30 minutes on Brews.
Yeah, I gotta get going. I'm going to a show tonight, so seeing.
What a fucking loser.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just glad I got to see his pretty face on here because every time he comes on my show, I just get a picture of him. He's on your show. I got to see his pretty face. He's all look, he's got his hair all done.
He's not that great.
I'm in the I'm honored to be in the presence of you two, sexy.
Greatness. I mean, look at me. I'm such a tiger with a can in his mouth.
Yeah. You got.
Rawr.
What's
You got
for dinner
something-
tonight, Jeff?
You got something in your mouth. I don't know. It's smelling good. Making a fat guy hungry.
I like it.
I have to find out what my wife is making. All right, Dustin. Appreciate you, brother.
All right,
Who
boys.
Day. See ya.
Love you guys. See ya.
Love you too.
Brother,
Later.
love
Later.
you.
All right, Dale. Any final words or anything you want to plug? Like some kind of podcast or something or anything like that.
Yeah. You guys should tune into Sports with Strawberry Ice. He goes live all the time, all around the Cincinnati area at Moorline House. Where's the other place, Jeff?
Millions. Hey,
Millions
millions.
Cafe. Maybe Midwest Best Barbecue sometime. Maybe there'll be a live show March 15th. Like maybe Jeff will show up March 15th and be a special guest. March 15th and talk some free agency recap at Midwest Best Barbecue.
Yeah, I'm curious how do you guys have the equipment yet to do it? Because I was talking to
Probably not. It'll probably be a shit show, but we're gonna fucking try it. So done it one other time, and hey, why not try it a second time?
There you go. It's gonna be a
They
great
better
show.
have plenty of Miller Lite on hand, because
yeah.
we all know me.
Dale, appreciate it, man. Thanks for jumping on, and go watch Bengals and Brews. Dale might be doing a show there.
I might not, but yeah, might do
never
a
know.
show here in about 10, 15, 20
That's
minutes.
why you need to subscribe. Get them to 2,000.
Yeah, literally might do a show. Just might do a show
Donate to
because
Project Game
I'll
Day.
the Crypt Keeper to come in the chat and talk about Notre Dame, and I can post the comments and be like, Notre Dame, ugh, Marcus Freeman's cool. I don't even hate Notre Dame. I have no hate against Notre Dame. Good for them. They got a good coach.
I love their
Had
coach.
that coach as defense coordinator.
I wish I had that coach for my college team, for the Bearcats. So, we'll see.
Love you, Jeff.
All right, dude. Later. See ya.
Bye.
All right, guys. As always, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Thanks to Dustin. Thanks, Dale. Thanks to you guys for checking it out, joining the show. I always appreciate it. Shout out to the sponsors of the show. We got Priority Lawn and Landscaping. They do snow removal in the wintertime. They also cut grass and do landscaping in the summertime. So make sure you give them a call if you need any work done at 513-430-6114. Again, that's Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, like Dale just said, Midwest Best, Bengals and Brewers will be there March 15th. I think it's going to be a good show. I'm going to try and go there. I have to look at my schedule, see if I got anything else going on, which I don't think I do. But last time they did a show there, I was planning on going. My boy Corey was going to be there, and I forgot that my son had bought me wrestling tickets for my birthday, so I wasn't able to go. But I know last time that was a draft party they did there, but they're actually going to do a live show there at Midwest Best. But tell Tim Nicole I sent you if you go there, right there at Ward's Corner Avenue exit. Also, show's brought to you by Meyer Windows and Doors. Check them out at www.meyercincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. I got them in my house, and I highly recommend you get them in yours because I'm down here in Nice Cave. It's nice and warm, and I'm not freezing my ass off like Dale is in the garage. Awesome. My Westside peeps, go check out Hail Mary. Your ticket to the game right in the heart of Cheviot. Big-ass TV screen, beer specials, food trucks, free parking. Cool little spot right there in Cheviot. Of course, always tell them I sent you. And I think we're going to be live back at Moreland Logger House this Tuesday, but they will be definitely doing this burger deal, which is delicious. I had it last night. $15, burger, fries, and a beer from 4:30 to close every single Tuesday. So make sure you check them out. We will be live at Millions this Friday. And Millions right there at Mount Lookout Square. Check us out. It's a very unique show. Me and Joe and Neil are usually there. Sometimes Harrison shows up. But we give the microphone to drunk people. You never know what drunk people are going to say. It's very interesting. But come on out to Millions Friday night at 7 o'clock. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. And I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have some news. Bearcats, we need them to win. They play tonight, 9 o'clock. They got to win. Other than that, that's a sports baby. See ya!
Weekend nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. The CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.